5 rules for managing your finances, and 5 kinds of reports you may want to see on a monthly basis. 5 rules. Bill promptly, electronically, and often. Second of all, fight back against improper denials, slow payments, and other shenanigans which some of the insurance companies still play with us, unfortunately, to this day. Third, follow the money trail. Know where your cash is coming from, know how it gets there, and know what happens to it. Fourth, watch the pennies. You don't want to obsess about every dime you spend, but sometimes those small amounts can get away from you. You want your staff to have the resources they have. That's very important. You don't want to be nickel and diming them over every matter. By the same token, sometimes some of these nickel and dime expenses which aren't necessary can add up to money which could be better spent in other parts of the practice. And fifth, you want to invest in your practice. It includes equipment, it includes training for your staff, and look at monthly reports. Look at a revenue and expense report. Look at the revenue which has come in and look at where your expenses are going by line item so you have a good understanding of where money is being spent. You want to compare the actual money being spent to the budget which you've set up in the course of the year. Always a good idea to have a budget, understanding that this isn't locked in stone, that you're going to be off from your actual budget, but that's okay. It gives you a benchmark and it's a plan. You can adjust the plan in the course of the year, always understanding that you still need to watch the bottom line. Is there going to be income left after your revenue and minus your expenses? The third kind of report you want to look at is your cash position and your cash flow. As I've said, there are 3 important things in business: cash, cash, and cash. So you want to know how much cash you have available and how much cash you could obtain through loans or through leases. You want to see what your cash flow is, how much is coming in, how much you're billing for, so you can anticipate what will be coming in, and what kind of cash is going out the door. Surprisingly, there are some very large companies which have run into actual problems in being able to pay their bills. Most importantly, you always need to be able to make payroll. The next thing to look at as far as the monthly report is the number and distribution of your patient encounters. Look at the patients you're seeing in your office, look at where you're seeing in the hospital if you go to the hospital. You want to look at not only the number of discrete patients you have, but also by the CPT codes and the RVUs. The more RVUs, the more income. So look at that also and see how that's being changed over the course of the year and over several years. Lastly, do a bank reconciliation. This is the time which your staff should be able to check to make sure that all the checks can be accounted for and all cash can be accounted for. This should be done by people who are not involved in the day-to-day operation and handling of cash. You want to have this check to make sure that money isn't disappearing, because unfortunately, small businesses and medical practices are some of the places where people will steal given the opportunity.